today's video is going to be my favorites video for the month of July, of course. I'm just gonna go ahead and share with you a couple of products that I've really been loving. Some of them are new favorites, some of them are old, rediscovered favorites, things like that. So before we get started, make sure that you're following me on Instagram and Twitter, and of course make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, and let's go ahead and get started. So my first favorite I want to just mention really quickly because I'm not actually wearing this right now, as you can probably tell. This is a self-tanner. It's by the brand Moriz. It's the Instant Tanning Mousse, and I got mine in the shade medium. I got this off of Amazon and it was about $9, and it came with a mitt to apply it. You can also buy it just by itself. I love this. It's basically a self-tanner. It comes out like a foam. You rub it all over your body. You wait for it to develop. I like to wait overnight. I just wear really baggy clothes. I wake up in the morning, shower, rinse it off, and I'm all nice and bronzy and tan. I know what you're thinking. If you're an avid watcher of my videos, I had mentioned before that I wanted to do this whole like embrace the pale thing this summer. I didn't last very long. But I wanted to look a little bit tan for the 4th of July, so I just went ahead and did this. But it looks incredibly natural, and it's definitely the best tan I've ever tried for the price. And it says on here that it's streak-free, fast-drying, instant color. I agree that it's streak-free when you apply it with the mitt. And when I do my hands and my elbows and my toes, ankles, things like that, I like to use like a flat top foundation brush basically. And I just use the smallest amount of product, and that way I'm able to avoid having orange hands. Of course, you want to make sure that your body is really moisturized also before you apply this. That way certain areas like your knees and your knuckles and your wrists and your ankles won't stain really dark. And it does say that it's fast drying. Usually what I do, I apply this and then for like 10 minutes I'll go and sit in front of our air conditioner in the other room and just sort of fan dry. I like to do it like 2 or 3 hours before I go to sleep just so that I don't stain my white sheets with this. But this is the best cheap, natural looking, non-Cheeto looking self-tanner that I've ever tried, and I highly recommend it. Wet n Wild was really good to me this month. I have a lot of Wet n Wild products to mention. Actually, it's kind of annoying. I have 4. The first one being this eyeshadow primer. This is the Photo Focus Eye Primer. Like when I first started getting into makeup, I was really into eye primers like this, just like sort of liquid that just sort of blend out into nothing on the lid, but then I sort of got into eye primers that had some sort of a pigment to them, so it would cover up all the veins and, you know, grossness on my eyes. And then I sort of realized that you can get that look just with a liquid, colorless eye primer, and then you can just apply your concealer over top of it and then set that, and it basically gives you the same effect. I've sort of noticed that there's a lack of pigmented eye primers when it comes to drugstore and, you know, cheaper alternatives. This is rather sticky, and I don't want that to scare you because it's not like gross sticky. It's sort of just like it stays tacky. So I definitely recommend setting this whether or not you put concealer on top of it, because if you don't set this before you start blending actual pigmented shades into the crease, you can get some skipping because of how tacky this is. But it's so incredibly cheap, and it makes my eyeshadows last literally all day long. This is definitely my new favorite affordable eye primer. Alright, a couple more Wet n Wild stuff. I'm going to talk about these two together because they're a part of the same line, and I think that they work really well together. It is the Photo Focus Pressed Powder and Concealer. Now, I think I like the concealer better than the powder. I have the lightest shades of both of these, and I wish they did make some lighter shades. As you can see, I'm pretty stinking ghostly. And this is about the same color as my skin tone. I can blend it in and make it sort of look like it's, you know, all uniform with the rest of my body, but I do like to use sort of a brighter concealer underneath my eyes. I can make it work. I can set it with a different Wet n Wild product that I'm gonna mention in a minute. But I will use this to spot conceal. I will use this to cover my dark circles. This is the concealer I use on my eyelids, under eyes. I even used it to spot conceal before I even went in with my foundation. I love this. It is sort of reminiscent, in my opinion, to the Tarte Shape Tape. It's got the same sort of thick consistency. This isn't as easy to blend out as the Tarte Shape Tape is, in my humble opinion, but it's fuller coverage, in my opinion, than the Maybelline Fit Me, which is my other holy grail concealer that I've used since I've got into makeup. That one's a lot more runny and liquidy in consistency, whereas this one's a lot more thick and moussey sort of. And this powder is like undetectable. I can't even really tell that I'm wearing this. I don't get how this works. So these are both a part of the photo focus range like I had explained, and they claim that they've tested these under 7 different light conditions, like inside at nighttime, outside at nighttime, inside at daytime, you know, like in nightclub lighting. Apparently they tested it in 7 different light conditions to ensure that there's no flashback in photography. So I mean, that's really cool. This powder doesn't keep my oils at bay all day long like some of the other powders that I have, but I sort of like that because it gives my skin a little bit more of like a natural sort of look to it instead of looking like matte. So yeah, I've really been loving these, and Wet n Wild, it's cheap. Now this next Wet n Wild item, and my last Wet n Wild item, I've had this for so long and I've recently just pulled it back out again and I'm obsessed with it. I've used this almost every single time that I've done my makeup this month, and it is the Mega Glow Contouring Palette in the shade Dulce de Leche, I think? Dulce de Leche? So this is what it looks like. It's just a duo with a highlight and a contour, and the star of the show is the highlight to me. I don't use this to set my under eye concealer. I don't know if I've ever tried it, but especially when I have a tan going, I like to apply this on top of the powder that I use to set my under eye concealer, and this just brightens up my under eyes. And I like to apply it with my sponge. I just dip my sponge in there, pat it underneath my eyes. Today I did a little bit of nose contour action, and so I patted this powder right down the center of my nose. I carved out a little bit of my contour with this powder. I'm obsessed with it. Anything that I put this powder on, it just brings some sort of like light and brightness to it. I love it. And I did use the contour today to bronze up my cheeks just so you guys can see how it works. I love it too. It's an awesome powder. They're super creamy, but definitely the star of the show is the highlight for me. I just recently mentioned these in a haul, and I don't want you to think that I just bought these and now I'm including them in a favorites video. I didn't film that haul until I had already had some of the products for a while, so I've had these for about a month. It's been like 3-ish weeks, I think. I'm obsessed with the Coastal Scents blush pots. I love these even more than their eyeshadows. And I love their eyeshadows. I just went on the Coastal Scents website and I picked out 6 shades that I was interested in trying, and I bought the palette as well for them to go in. And I didn't have the best expectations for these, so the pigmentation and the blendability blew me out of the water. I was so pleasantly surprised when I tried these for the first time. They're very pigmented, and I know some people don't like very pigmented blushes. They're like, oh, never mind, I don't want them then. But I like it because they are really pigmented, but even if you go a little bit too ham, you can still blend it out and even use your powder brush to blend it out so that you don't look like a clown all day. But because they're so pigmented, I mentioned this in that haul, so I'll keep it short, 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 short. I like to apply it with a nice fluffy, flimsy brush like this one. It's the Luxie 640. They do have a lot of kick up in them as well, as, I mean, that usually happens with really pigmented powder products. My 2 favorites have to be Glowing Ember and Mellow Coral. I mixed the 2 today on my cheeks. These are amazing. They're amazing. They're pigmented, they're blendable, they're cheap. Cheap AF, girl. Oh my goodness, are they cheap. One more makeup product, and then I want to talk about sort of more of like a lifestyle thing. I included this mascara in a haul a while back. The haul that I did right after I got back from vacationing, when I went home to visit family, I came back and I did a haul of the stuff that I had bought while I was gone. And I had included this in that haul because my mom gave this to me. She just sort of like passed it along to me. And I put it in the haul and everything, and then when I went to go look for the information about the product so I could list the price and, you know, all that good stuff on the screen during the close-up like I usually do, I could not find this mascara anywhere on the website, anywhere. And so I asked my mom, I was like, do they still sell this mascara? Like, when did you get this? How old is this? Because I cannot find it anywhere on the website. She was like, oh, you should be able to find it. It's definitely not discontinued. So I'm sharing it with you because I really, really love it. It's by the brand Mary Kay, and it's called their Ultimate Mascara. I have the shade black, if you were wondering. This is a very lengthening mascara. If you are all about the volume and you don't like lengthening mascaras, you might not like this. I typically like a little bit of both, but more volume. My favorite way to wear this is I do 2 coats of this, and then I go over top of it with a volumizing mascara, and then I curl my lashes, and my lashes are like going on for days. I love it. This is all I'm wearing right now on my top and my bottom lashes. I also curled my lashes. I love how much this mascara separates my lashes and makes them look so long. I'm sure you probably know someone that sells Mary Kay, so I mean, that's a plus. Last but not least, I want to talk about an app. This part of the video, I am a beauty related channel, so obviously my audience is mostly female, so this shouldn't be an issue, but if you are a dude, I'm gonna talk about some period stuff for a minute, so if you wanna go, you're welcome to. So when I first started my period when I was a kid, my mom was, teaching me that, it's smart to track your period so that you know your cycle and all that good stuff. So I downloaded an app when I started my period, and the app would predict when my period was gonna start. And after I logged enough of my periods, it would have its predictions set in stone and it wouldn't let me change them. So say that it said, okay, you're gonna start your period on the 20th. Let's say I started on the 19th. It wouldn't let me log that I started on the 19th. The app is like, you're not supposed to start today. You're gonna start tomorrow. And I was like, okay, well, I think I know. So I did not like that app at all, and I just started writing it down in my calendar by hand, which is what I did until I found this app this month. I love it because it's right on my phone. It's called Flow. This app is really cool because, first of all, it's much easier to use than that one I used when I first started my period years and years and years ago. I don't remember what that one is even called, but I remember it was very difficult for me to use. This one is much more user-friendly, in my opinion. It basically is a calendar. It shows you your cycle as, a calendar, the whole month. It shows you when you're ovulating. Basically, you click on a day, and it'll tell you whether or not you're ovulating, whether or not you have a high chance of getting pregnant. You can log all of your symptoms, your backache, your headache, your cramps, your irritability. You can log your intimacy, we'll call it. And when you first get the app and you're first setting it up, it sort of asks you whether or not you're trying to get pregnant. So if you are trying to have a baby, you can go ahead and put it into like pregnancy mode or whatever, and it'll give you a notification when you're ovulating, which that's really freaking cool. You just sort of hit the little plus sign, and then it gives you a bunch of different categories like lifestyle, sex, how are you, log your symptoms, discharge, some girls icky stuff, but we all do it, we all deal with it. And then you can also log whether or not you were traveling, if you were super stressed, if you were sick or injured, things like that. It lets you log anything that could possibly affect your cycle. So it's basically meant to predict when you're gonna start your period. And one of my favorite things about this app is without a doubt the fact that you can hook it up to your Fitbit. I spoke about my Fitbit last month or the month before. I love my Fitbit, love it. I'm always on my little app log and everything. But in the lifestyle category here on the Flow app, there's things like weight, sleep, nutrition, steps, distance, sport, and water. And I already logged most of that stuff on my Fitbit app. So I just sort of synced the two accounts up together, and that way my Flow app knows how much sleep I got last night. It knows how much exercise I got today. It also gives you something called health insights. So say you're feeling a certain type of way, you're PMSing, I don't know, you feel irritable, or you're feeling a certain cramping and you don't know why because you're not on your period yet, I don't know. You're feeling some type of way and you log it in the app, a little thing will pop up at the bottom that says Health Insights, and you can click on that and read why that might be happening to you. So I'm absolutely addicted to this app. Even if you're not trying to get pregnant, which I'm not, oh gosh, girl, I ain't ready for babies yet. I just recommend it for the average everyday woman who wants to keep track of their period. And one of my favorite things about it is that when you go to the doctor and they're like, when was your last cycle? And you're like, oh, but I always have my phone on me, so when the doctor says, hey, when was your last cycle? I'll be able to tell them the exact days, how I was feeling every day. If you're someone who likes to keep your lifestyle organized, if you like to keep track of your health, or you want to start keeping track of your health, I really highly recommend this app. I have an Android. I also believe that it's available on iPhone, and it is a free app, 100%. And I don't even think there's any in-app purchases. I don't know. I haven't come across any of those yet. So that's everything for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you guys next time.